Alright. Welcome back to Gaming with Stog, where I go batshit crazy on games, so you don't have to. Welcome to part 2 of the Oil and Water Masterclass. Today we'll be discussing liquids to the coal generators, 300% refined oil to the asphalt plant, and last but definitely not least, the moneymaker. And trust me, folks, you're going to want to stick around for that one. It's a hell of a game changer, probably the biggest game changer yet. I think it's going to break the game. First and foremost, let's test these pesky generators. I have 5 coal generators, one of which is a controlled test, no liquids. The other 4 each have a different liquid, either refined or unrefined, filtered or unfiltered, oil or water. These liquids have their own power source and are on at all times, so there is absolutely no delay in liquid delivery on startup. Each generator has a hopper attached to it, which has 10 coal, just to make sure that the coal is belt fed at the same time as the liquid. Maybe that'll make a difference, I don't know. And then each generator is also powering a water pump and a storage tank, a liquid storage tank behind that. I've come up with 4 possible ways that the coal generator would benefit from running liquid to it. Number 1, producing more power maybe? I doubt it. Number 2, better efficiency, as in longer run times. Number 3, will the adjoining water pump that's powered by the coal generator produce more? And number 4, the theory is that in hardcore mode, the generators break down just as vehicles do, so would it give you better reliability / longevity of the generator? So I won't be testing that one today because my game's not on hardcore mode. But before we start all that, let's find out why I'm testing water and oil with these coal generators. Well, unlike the wash plant, the sluice box, the froth floater, and the asphalt plant, whose diagrams have been updated to show exactly what liquids you should be feeding it. So the froth floater here, you should only be feeding it filtered water. The wash plant and sluice box are optional. You can either go filtered or unfiltered. Personally, I still prefer 300% filtered water everywhere. The asphalt plant can take either crude oil or just refined oil. That's up to you. Again, I'd rather run refined oil. But if we look at the diagram for the coal generator here, that's it. There's no other information. Like, it's just the same diagram used for everything else power related in the game. As seen here in the update for the coal generator, there is absolutely no mention of a pipeline, whether it be oil or water. They don't talk about it. We do see it in the picture. There is a pipeline hooked up to the coal plant, the coal generator. That's the only information we have. Looking at the patch notes for the beta update here, it mentions we can connect a water pump to the froth floater and the wash plant. It doesn't say anything about the sluice box. And that we can connect an oil pump to the asphalt plant. Doesn't specify what kind of oil, if it has to be refined or not. But again, no mention of the coal generator, which makes me think it just hasn't been implemented yet. Anyways, now we know the purpose of the testing today. So without further ado, let's get this testing started. So, on, on, on. In this video, I'm only doing one round of tests with these generators. That's it. I'm going to time them once, and I'm only using one pump for now. If I see any kind of benefits whatsoever, any deviation, then I'll do another test in the future with more liquids. The other thing is that I can only do 10 coal at a time in the hopper because that takes long enough to run through, and I'm out of storage on my PC. I really do have to put out like maybe 2 or 3 more videos to make space on my PC, then I can come back and revisit this one using more coal and more liquids. These tests do run for like 4 minutes and 16 seconds, so I'm gonna speed them up and add some music. All right, so one of the things that we need to understand about the timer that I'm using, these timers in DaVinci Resolve, is the milliseconds they'll stop at 23 and then it advances to the next second. So it's going to go 3, 13, 22, 23, then 3, 14. Okay? Not to worry, the minutes and the seconds are still very accurate. The only problem is the display of the millisecond, so we can't 100% rely on the millisecond display. I'll show you what I mean here. As I go frame by frame, you're going to see that it goes 21, 22, 23 in the milliseconds and then moves on to the very next second. It never goes past 23 milliseconds. So although some of these might look like they're a full second apart, they're only a few milliseconds apart. That's important when looking at the results. Speaking of which, here are the results. And as we can see, tests 1 through 4 are basically the same. They're just 1 to 3 milliseconds apart. Test number 5 with the 20% crude oil is the only one that's pretty much a full second ahead of all the other tests as far as the generator runtime and the coal efficiency. So I say the Gen 5 here is almost a full second ahead because if you look at it, it's at 1623. So one more millisecond would make it truly 417, whereas everything else is basically at 416. Make what you will of that, but if I was going to throw liquids on a generator at this point, I think I would go with crude oil. Next up, let's take a look at these water runtimes, which we can use to see if there's any discrepancies between runtime and amount of water units collected. The water production rate is usually 20 unfiltered water per second. So if I was to take test 1 at 40605, that gives me 246 seconds times the 20 water should give me 4,920 water. So here I have one test that's written in green, one written in red, and 3 written in white. The white ones are basically, they agree with the math. It's 20 units per second. The green test, which is 16% filtered water, test number 2, that one came out above average. It was supposed to yield 4,900, it came out at 4,920. The one in red, test 4, came out at 4,880, that's 20 units under the equation, under the 1 second, the 20 water per second, and that's 2% refined oil. So it appears there may be some advantage here using 16% filtered water. It might give you more units if you're powering like a water pump. And as far as efficiency for the actual generator itself, it looks like test number 5 was the winner with the crude oil. Do what you will with that info, but it wasn't such a gain that I would bother with it. Alright, enough about that. Moving on to 300% refined oil to the asphalt plant because I didn't cover that amount in part 1 of the video. So I just set up this janky hopper here on both sides, one for each asphalt plant. And I'm going to deliver 1,000 gravel into both asphalt plants to see what the result is. So they're going to storages just so I can be clear and doesn't get mixed up with anything else. Okay. This one here, this hopper drops right into the asphalt plant. Okay, and this one is running 300% oil. Now let's go to the one on, so I'm going to drop that one in now. So consume. It's going to drop it in on this right, but because it's not on, this right is going to hold the entire thing. 1,000. Okay. I'll go do the same on the other side, which is running 102% oil. And then I'll turn on this main breaker here and run it through at the same time. So same thing on this side. I got my hopper. It's dropping directly into the oil plant here, the asphalt plant. I've got my 1,000 in there. Consume. It's going to drop it onto the asphalt plant. And it's going to stay there until I turn on the plant. A 1,000 gravel. And like I said, this one's running at 102% oil. So now I can go turn on the main switch over here, main breaker, and see what the results are. If it's worth sending, because that's 150 oil pumps to get 300 oil down here. 300 refined oil. Let's turn this on. It's going to run its course pretty fast. Okay, so the one with 102 oil going to it. Get 1,000 asphalt. One here, 300 going to it, right? So the other one had 102 oil. This one had 300 going to it. So what's the result? How much asphalt? 1,000. It didn't make a lick of difference. Well, there you have it. There's absolutely no benefits to using oil on any of the production machines. Not the asphalt plant, obviously not the froth floater or the wash plant or the sluice box, because that's all water stuff. And as far as the generator goes, well, as you just saw, it might slightly give you better efficiency with crude oil, but I'll be revisiting those tests when I have more space on the computer. But for everything else, oil is completely useless right now. Something's wrong with their system. They need to fix it. Moving on to the one you've all been waiting for, the Money Maker. This is the one that's going to change your game. You'll never need money again. So what you're looking at here is 2 rows of 15 oil pumps side by side, each feeding 2 refineries going into some storage tanks. There's some stuff after that, but it doesn't matter because with my new findings, I'm not even going to use that. I've changed it since then. So I've removed one of these refineries because I found out that you lose a lot of value by refining your refined oil into fuel. You lose so much money. It's like $6.5 million an hour that you lose. And so it's not worth it. And so if you stay with the refined oil and just fill the tanks with refined oil, it's insane how much money you're going to be making. Let me show you. The first chart up top shows us the unit values. So what I did here is per unit, I took 1 unit of each. I sold it in the store. This is the price I got. And then beside that, the second column is per unit at $9,999. So I took a stack of the stuff and I sold it in the store. That gave me the per stack on the right, the third column, the per stack, $9,999. And that's the price I got in the store for the stack. Then divided that by the $9,999 to get the number in the second stack, the price there. And the per tanks have 40 spots in each tank, the liquid storage tanks. And so I just multiplied that by the numbers in the third column to get that number. Now let's take a look at the bottom chart, first column. And it tells you how many units you earn per second. All right, so 300 crude oil. And if you decide to refine that, it's going to be 30 oil. And if you decide to refine that into fuel, it's going to be 3 fuel. And if you decide to refine that into generator fuel, it's still going to be 3 generator fuel because there's no loss between those two. But there is a 90% loss between crude oil to oil and oil to fuel. That being said, I tested regular fuel in generators and it works just as well. It's the very same thing. So there's absolutely at this point no reason to go ahead and make generator fuel. And according to my findings here, there's no reason to go ahead and make fuel either, because you're going to make so much money by selling refined oil. Just buy fuel. It's ridiculous. So you've seen what each unit is worth. You've seen what I get with 30 pumps and 15 pumps. Now let's go to the extreme. Now let's show you what I'm going to get with 150 pumps. What? Are you kidding me? Come on. Look at this, 150 pumps. Am I seriously telling you that you can earn 861 million in 12 hours? Absolutely, guys. That's insane. That's the system they gave us. Use it. You know what I mean? I don't actually have 150 pumps running, and if you say, "Hey, Stog, why do you only have 2 million in the bank if you have this system going?" Well, I have a lot of tanks full of fuel. And then I realized that fuel, I was losing money. So I recently changed it over to refined oil, which I'm now collecting. But I haven't sold any of it. And so that's why I don't have much money. At the same time is I haven't had much time to play in the past month. Really, no time to play in the past month. I've gone in to do some testing and I've been editing. And that's it. I haven't actually had time to actually play. So my money's not going up. I could go in and sell all that stuff and I could have easily hundreds of millions of dollars. I do have it. But yeah, take advantage of this, guys, while you can. So this has been quite the learning experience for me. I don't think there's anything else at this point in time I can do to break the game or figure out anything extreme. So I might have to move on to a different game. I've really enjoyed this, but I'm actually looking forward to going back and actually playing the game and expanding my mind. So, yeah, take advantage of this, guys, and hope you enjoyed, and like and subscribe if you like my content. I go through a lot of editing hours trying to put this stuff together so it can be comprehensive to everybody. Thanks, man. I love y'all. Ciao.